Hi, I'm Vicky Ferrer and this is fullflap.tv Connect. Coming up, are personal locators useless? Can you fly for under $1 an hour? And we go refuelling in the Arctic. Plus, we talk to one of the top competitors in this weekend's Sailplane GP. ELTs, or electronic locator beacons, sound like a great idea if you land in the middle of nowhere and need to be found. But they're not cheap, often costing more than $2,000 or €1,400 each. But the ICAO wants everyone to have one, but some countries are split. In Canada, Transport Canada thinks they are a good idea, but the Canadian Owners and Pilots Association don't. They think it's a lot of money for little benefit when you're in a country with lots of mountains that get in the way of the signal. Mooney's speed machines are moving into Europe in a bigger way, with the manufacturer signing an exclusive dealer deal in Germany, Austria and Switzerland with the Air Touring Group. That means you should be able to get hold of one of these 242 knot, that's 278 miles per hour rides more easily. The Acclaim S will do nearly 1,500 miles on a tank at cruise speed, that's about €0.50 per mile. Remember this? Yes, it's the Icon A5. The Amphib project is featuring everywhere on TV, in the press and of course on fullflap.tv. It was officially unveiled in June, but you have to wait till 2010 to fly it. Designers wanted something that was more like a car to help earthbound mortals find it easier to get into aviation. The useful load isn't much in this two-seater, topping about 530 pounds, but you get 105 knots, a 300 nautical mile range, and of course you can land it anywhere. The current estimate for a price is $140,000 US. Now, if flying to you is like airborne motorcycling, then why stop when you get on the ground? These guys have an idea. It's called the Motopod, and you just stick it under your aircraft. The first kits will go on the Cirrus SR22s, Cessna 182s and RV10s. It'll also cost you about $9,000 or €6,000 and expect to lose about 9 knots of airspeed. The UK's Light Aircraft Association aren't too happy with the way airspace is being shared with unmanned aircraft. The military want to expand the area they use for practice, but that's going to take a big chunk of airspace away from real, living pilots. The LAA is asking for your thoughts on their website. 1.5 hours flying for less than €1, a British pound or even $1? Is it possible? Yes, is the promise provided by the Electra Flyer. The guys behind this little single-seater are only really interested in the engine bit, but it flew in Oshkosh this year and got a huge applause. A two-seater project is being developed that will give you 132 miles an hour or 212 kilometres an hour for about an hour. The electric engine isn't cheap, but then once you've stumped up the cash, the refills are tiny. Expect to pay about $18,000 US, with the batteries needing to be replaced roughly every 1,000 hours. There are some rule changes needed to make electric flight really take off, subtle pun there, and it looks like the US will do that first. We'll keep you up to date.
Aviation Optical provides the eye examination that an aviator actually needs. We'll check the health of your eyes and make sure your view from the cockpit stays crystal clear. Why waste money on the high street when you can actually fly into an optician that understands what you need? Aviation Optical and Medical, the only choice for aviators.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like flying to the Arctic? Well, Seattle flyers Mark and Doug have been trying to do just that. It looks like the weather has beaten them to the pole, but they're on working their way back, and it has been an amazing journey and promises some stunning footage. They have sent us a little clip of just what it's like refuelling in the Arctic in Nunkatuck or Navituck or somewhere up there in the ice.
So there's two ways to fuel a seaplane. One is you pull up to a nice flat floating dock with no obstacles or pilings or anything to hit your wing or your tail feathers on. And then there's what we call a gong show, which is what we went through yesterday, and it can come in different varieties. Albert, nice to meet you. What's your name? Can any of you do throat singing? Oh wait, that was good. Come on, let's hear it. There's a website. So every day we write up a blog, we call it. And we send pictures.
So we're going to be on the internet.
thanks to all of you for joining us at fullflap.tv. We've reached 34 countries and it's climbing. If you'd like to send us your review of an aircraft that you own or fly, then just let us know. Just check out the website for more. We're going to be at Lasham, right in the middle of the UK this weekend for a world record attempt to pull a 757 with wheelchairs. We saw the practice in the last show. Also taking place is the UK Sailplane Grand Prix. That actually started last weekend and finishes on Saturday, but it's gliding with a twist. Rick caught up with top competitor Dave Draper to get a pre-race thoughts and how it'd been going so far. He started by asking if it really was as graceful and peaceful up there as it looked.
Completely different. The cockpit's full of toys, variometer telling you how fast up and down you're going, you've got instruments to tell you how fast you should be gliding in between thermals, a whole moving map display, a GPS logging system recording your position in three-dimensional space to an accuracy of 10 meters. It's hot on a lot of days. It's by far from silent because you've got the instrumentation, you've got the wind noise over the glider, especially when you're flying at over 100 knots. Yesterday we came in, I think the maximum speed I saw on the airspeed indicator was 130 knots, about 145 miles an hour, which is great because you can buy any car you like and you can't do that in the UK legally. We can do it all over the place.
And what is the enjoyment of Grand Prix glider racing compared to anything else?
The biggest difference is it looks like a race most people will understand. A flag drops, you start, you race around a number of turn points, first person back wins. Most gliding competitions are based upon elapsed time races. So for a casual observer, you can't tell. 20 people could arrive at the airfield, 21st person back is actually the person who's won it for the day. Then you have to start explaining all the rules to people and whatever. Whereas most people understand the idea of cars racing around a track, complete the course, first guy across the line wins.
And this Saturday, we've obviously got a big event coming up, haven't we? It's the last day of your competition. Big event for Lasham, lots of people going to be there. What are your plans?
You're talking about this will be the last day of our Grand Prix competition. We're hoping that the weather will be good, we'll have a really nice race, and that we can provide a really good spectacle for the people we've got coming.
It does sound really exciting. Look, I want to ask you about that technical stuff going on behind you in just a second, but first of all, if people want to get involved in gliding, how do they do it? What do they do?
Well, come and give it a go. There's some great clubs around, and Lasham here is one of them. They run taster courses, they run trial lessons. You can come and do those things to see if you like it. But what you do need to do, if you really want to give it a proper go, you do need to give it some time. It's not to learn to fly a glider confidently cross country is not something that's going to take a few minutes. It will become not one of many hobbies you have, but it probably become the only hobby you have.
And that stuff going on behind you, I mean, it looks fantastic. That allows you to see exactly what's going on, doesn't it? What sort of difference does that make for you, being able to see that?
It is. It's a completely different perspective, because one of the things that happened at the trailing part of this flight, I was running in very fast to the final turning point, which is 5k out, which lines us up with the runway, brings us straight in. Ian MacArthur was with me. I'd had him in sight quite a lot, and Ian had deliberately dropped slightly behind me, and I was pretty sure he was trying to look for an opportunity when he was going to take quite a risk and push. By a risk, I mean he was going to take a chance of, to push on ahead. If he was out of my sight, I wouldn't see him speed up to do it, and I thought that's what he was doing. So it's interesting to look on this, and you can see where he was manoeuvring around behind me, and actually in all his effort he only succeeded in losing 100 feet, which just made it easier for me, but I didn't know that. So when it came to the final turn, we just had to go in as fast as we could.
And check out gp2008.co.uk for more. We're back next week. I'm Vicky Farah.